guys, this is Love from Level Up Consulting Firm, and today we're going to be discussing the benefits of having an LLC. Now, of course, the blatant obvious reason, it makes you look official and you have this label that's yours. It's your personal brand, your personal baby. So I'm going to give you a few other benefits beyond that as far as legal reasons, for tax purposes, etc., that would help you make the best decision. And at the end of the video, I'm going to go over pricing and how that pricing can vary from state to state. So let's get started. So you should create an LLC because, again, it makes you official. And with this official name, you're able to do more. So one of the things you're able to do is create a bank account. You cannot operate a business bank account unless you either have a limited liability company or you have a DBA, which stands for doing business as. And a DBA can vary from your corporation. So you can have a corporation name, but if you want to do a DBA instead, you can also use that if you wanted to use something other than your name and the LLC name. And then beyond that, if you don't have an LLC at all, you can get a DBA that would give you the opportunity and the access to open up a business bank account. Next, for payment and taxes. So when you have an LLC, people are able to write checks to your business. So for instance, when I ship packages with the post office, if anything ever gets broken, damaged, my customers take a picture for me of whatever the item was, I upload it to their platform, and they are able to send me a check. And it is in the name of Queen Care Cosmetics. It does not come in my first and last legal name, right? So that way I'm able to deposit that check into a business bank account. Otherwise, I would not be able to access that money at all. So you want to be very careful about that when you're throwing around labels. If you don't have any official business name yet, you may want to get one, because in the event that they write a check for you, who knows if your personal bank will be able to cash it for you. Sometimes they will, but sometimes they won't. So that's just a protection for you. Also, I mentioned taxes. You won't have to pay taxes like a corporation will. So the way that works, when you have an LLC, it's typically considered like a sole proprietorship, especially if you're the only person operating the business and the EIN is attached to your social security number. And that means that when you do taxes on your personal taxes, that's where your business income will also go through. So each year when I do my taxes, I also have to give my tax preparer the information from my business. So how much I made, any expenses I had, any business trips I took, etc. And so that is a really big benefit, because you won't have to pay two different fees in order to file your taxes, like on behalf of your corporation and on behalf of yourself. Next, separating your name from the brand, it keeps the haters away. There are some people who say, you shouldn't attach your face to your business or your name to your business because you never know who will see it, who may not like you in the industry, who considers you competition and will try to slander your name. So I think it's really, really good if they don't know. Also, for those of you who have your name in the business, like if it's named after you, obviously this may not apply. But the second reason for keeping your name separate from the business is liability. So God forbid you were sued. If a person comes for you, they're actually coming for the business instead of your personal assets, which means the assets of Larry and Family Marketing instead of Larry himself. Right? So that means the assets in your bank account can be seized or whatever in the event that the judge would rule in their favor, but not your personal assets. Next, it's less paperwork. There is a lot of paperwork that comes with corporations that don't come with LLCs because they're ran differently. So with a corporation, it's very strict. They have to have like an executive board of directors, different people in each office position. You have to have everyone's address. Sometimes they require everyone's social security number because these are people who are attached to a business entity, right? And so that means the way you run your business is a little bit more restricted, and you have to answer to those people before you make choices, or else you could face some legal backlash. And that's very important to know, because with an LLC / sole proprietorship, you can run it however you want. You don't really have other people who have a say-so in your business, and so that's something that you should know. And for the cost, an LLC is typically about $200. So you would register online. You go to secretaryofstate.gov and you click on the state that matches your business. So if you reside in North Carolina, you want your business registered in North Carolina, register it there. And with that being said, there is like a $2 fee that you would pay online, but that fee does vary from state to state. So when you speak with your consultant or your business manager, just be mindful of that it will vary from state to state. And so if they throw out a price like $300 or $250, I'm pretty sure that it would be accurate. And you can also check that information on that website. Also, they do have a bunch of instructions on how to file an LLC, how to do trademarking. Obviously, as you know, trademarking is for like your logos, any type of symbols that you would use for the business. And if you have an LLC, it's not mandatory. Sorry, this paper hit my hand and scared me. If you have an LLC, it's not mandatory for you to get your logo trademarked. Because you do have protections under the LLC as well, because that's your business. Also, if you find that you look up the name and it's not in that state, but you know that it's in another state, don't worry about that. Like, you can still use the business name. So for instance, I know like there are several like Busy Bees Daycare Center or whatever, but if it's registered in your state, nobody else in the state can come and register that name behind you. So that's another great benefit. You can look up the name, and you really want to do this because let's say you don't look up the name and you go ahead and file the paperwork for your LLC, you'll have to do it again. And you don't want to face any fees that come with that, because who wants to pay an extra $200 because the business name is taken? Like, it's just not cool. Also, be mindful. Like, I know when I went to get my business bank account, I told her that I had an LLC, and before I told her that, I'm guessing, because it's like that wouldn't make sense. I think I did tell her that I had an LLC, but because she didn't know what she was talking about, she told me that I needed a DBA, which is a doing business as. So I filed the DBA, and they were like, oh, this name is already taken. And I'm like, well, I know it's already taken because that's my brand, but I was told that this is what I had to do. So just be mindful of that. Like, if you have an LLC, you do not need a DBA to open up a bank account. You're already official, already own the name. What you will need to have is your paperwork that you filed with them. And typically when you file with the Secretary of State, they will send you a copy of it, but you can also print it from the online platform. And you print that paperwork, you would take that in along with your license, your social security number, and any other documents that they request from you. They may request a bill or something like that. Also, you have to make sure that the name on your actual physical address matches the name and address on the paperwork that you file. If those are two different addresses, you will have to order another license or change the address on your LLC filing and do it all over again. They're very, very serious about that. And you know, although it's annoying because I am a college student and we move, it's like, I'm thankful that you do this, because God forbid someone was to go in and try to get a bank account registered under my business and be able to do that successfully. Like, that's terrible, you know? So that's another thing. When you're doing business and you sort of have to jump through hoops, don't feel bad about that. Like, it's good when you have certain financial protections, because then that can make you feel safe with the brand that you're working with and know that they're doing everything that they can to protect you. So that was a mouthful. I hope that really helped on why create an LLC, how you can create an LLC. Do your research, ask questions if you're confused about anything. And if you need to hire a consultant, come talk to me for an hour. We can chop it up, decide what you need to do for your business, and then you'll be able to move forward, with your plans and your desires. I want to make your dreams come true. So have a great day. Thank you for listening. And as usual, my information will be down there in the description box so you can reach out. Bye.